Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael Lott,
Lee Snyder,
and Michael Braswell.
Join us with topics that wake up the connection to the real you. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio. It is Sunday, March 10th, and we are recording from Black Mountain, North Carolina at the Light Center. How are you all doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. Thank you for asking.
Cool. We are actually in the dome upstairs, and it's a really cool place with the light coming in. And we came here today particularly to try out their new chakra room, the light room downstairs. They replaced and upgraded and evolved the system, and it's a really neat place. Lee, you want to tell us about it, your experience in it today?
My experience today was when I first went in, and it first of all, the lights were just much more powerful than what was in here before. But the other ones had been in here since 1979, so wow. It was just a great difference as far as the upgrade of it. And as soon as I sat down and the light came on, I felt a lot of beings that was around me and touching me on my face. And it was like, we're here. And I really felt a lot of touches in that room today, which have really not felt that much of that before. But it was like the first thing that came into my mind's eye was just total green and red and a lot of flow of the colors. And then I saw faces. I went through about 10 minutes of just faces going through and zeroing in on what they looked like. And it was a pretty fast pace through there, but I could actually see every face that went through. And I just asked that whom I'm supposed to see to please come. And I did not recognize them in any form in this lifetime. But I did recognize that there was a lot of cosmic beings that came through because their whole facial structure and all of that was just a totally different look. So there was a combination of both.
That's really
cool. And it
cool.
was great.
That is really cool.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, were they all humans or human incarnations? I'm glad you verified that. It was weird. Each light had a different reaction to me.
It did with me as well.
One light, it was wonderful. I was floating and flying among trees, but I had to be in Africa or somewhere like that because there was monkeys, there was parrots, different birds, and another light. And it was funny, each light, when it went to darkness, I would see right in the middle of the dark, a pulsating lavender or purple light right in the middle with a little green one time, a little yellow the next time. Every time it went to the dark, I got that. Mm-hmm. And then I've gotten that before doing meditations. Another one, when it went to the purple, or the blue, excuse me, I just floated up, and it was like I was in a chamber in a spaceship, and that chamber was full of healing energy. And I just floated in there like that. And one of the other colors did the same thing to me. The other color, though, and I forget which color it was, maybe yellow, there was someone else in there with me, another being, not a human being, but another being. And it was just truly awesome. And I laid on the floor. I didn't even sit in a chair. And to me, that was much more intense, being on the floor and relaxed like that. Seemed to be more open to it than I would have been in a chair.
I like to describe actually what the light room is for people. Yeah. Because we were talking about our experiences, and I'm sure some of y'all out there thinking,
what is it?
What in the world are y'all talking about?
We're still in the experience.
It happens to be a small chamber in the middle of this this building where it has lights that are in alignment with the colors of our chakras, and it goes through a sequence of light on, light off, and they have it programmed to do different types of sequences and play music at the same time, and it's a fantastic place. It has been used for so many years for this scenario, and people go in there and meditate and all that stuff. The energy is so open and connected to spirit in there. And so people have all kinds of spiritual experiences when they're in there, as you all were talking about the spiritual experiences that you had. But it can be, you may just feel more relaxed or integrated in the different parts of your energy system and mind-body-spirit connection just by sitting in there. I know today I had a lot of the faces like you did, Lee. However, I really was just kind of in tune with my chakras. I was feeling, as the lights would go on, what was going on, and kind of this radiance. I felt the energy. I actually felt my aura when the lights would come on, and where about it was extending to. It was real interesting. The lights in certain colors would penetrate more than others, and I was really paying attention to that kind of thing today. But it's a fantastic place. I would like to say, while we're talking about the Light Center, that if you want to come out here and visit, I would highly recommend it. And you can check it out. It's, I believe the website, Lee, it's on the other side of that pamphlet, but I think it's UR, like the letter U, the letter R, light.org. And so you can go on the website and check it out. I believe this upstairs that we're actually recording from is open 24 hours. Is that correct?
24/7.
Where you can come in if you need to, have a quiet place to meditate or pray or whatever, you can come up here and check it out. It's wonderful.
Yes, open all the time, and they also have the same colored lights as up here. That when you come in, we can turn it on during the day, but at night, when you first walk in and you turn the lights on, it actually has the lights that's above. That is the same lights as what we had downstairs.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I just looked up there, and there they were.
Yeah.
There's also walking trails out here. You can come up here and do this. And, check out all the walking trails that are up here. It's wonderful.
Yep. And they also have a lake you can walk around. And they also have a labyrinth, which is wonderful.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was looking at their path for the hike they have, and it's really neat. I might have to come back one day just to walk the path.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
They also have a lodge. I think we need to talk about that because there is a lodge here that you can come and stay. So if there's a lot of training, a lot of conferences that come in during the year, and then you can actually go up there and stay. So it's right here on the property.
So if it resonates to you, check out the website. urlight.org. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is. Right.
The
www before it, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking while y'all were talking, the last color, the white light, that's when I felt nothing but pulsating energy falling down on me. The first light, I forgot what color it was, but I had my eyes open because it was still dark, and then when that light came on, I looked a little and closed my eyes, and I was floating above a ship with those lights going around the outside and then under, and I was just floated around. It was very peaceful, very peaceful.
I know when I first got in there and it started, within about a minute I thought, I wish I was laying on the floor. Because normally that's what, I do if there's not that many people in there. I know Michael and myself a lot has done that before. And I thought to myself, I wish I was there on the floor. But it was still, really good, even sitting in the chair. And you can really tap into a lot of different energies in there. And it's a very healing place to be. This whole place is very healing.
I love it up here because of the lavender floor.
It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Well, this week has been pretty amazing, I'll have to say, for myself. Yesterday we did a class at Lee's house. We have this beautiful space there that's a community space. And the second Saturday of each month we do a class, and different people come in and teach on some topic that they're inspired about. And what I talked about yesterday has just been, I think bits and pieces have been coming up in our show week to week as it's kind of been evolving within me, the energies of now, and really connecting with where I'm at in my own personal evolution and how to talk about that. But one of the things that's really stands out to me from the talk yesterday is the importance of connecting with our passion now. And I just like to talk a little bit about that because, and one of the particular points that came out yesterday in the class was the concept of opening up to more people and new experiences in our lives right now, connecting to community. And it's been so easy. It was so easy for me in years past to connect with people on a mental knowledge. You connect about something, and it's, for example, this water bottle. Oh, I got this at so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And it's very knowledge-based, thinking-based type of connection. And now it's so powerful to notice the difference between knowledge connecting and heart connecting, and how to bring those together. There's times for both and just going in the flow of life, but staying in the knowledge, it stays out of the feeling place, where you really connect in the heart. And yesterday it came up. We were doing some exercises around describing a flower. We passed a flower around, and just take the time to really look into this flower and notice something about this flower. How does it make you feel? How does this flower make you feel when you really look into it? And then we went around the room, and one of the ladies that was there, she started talking about the flower, and she went straight into her knowledge base. And, it can be such a habit, just a pattern, just like anything else. We can go into spiritual patterns, of what we think is our spiritual journey, and all that can be just as patterned as anything else. And so in talking about how can we get out of our patterns of even our spirituality, our meditation, our this or that we do it the same way all the time, maybe it's time to shift and open up to some new ways and energies within us. But anyway, when we stopped and just talked about it a minute, did you notice that in that moment, when you talked about that flower, you started talking about all of the knowledge and facts and figures about the flower, and you left a feeling place. And she made the comment, and it was so powerful. She said, well, it's the way that I put up a wall to that. I go straight into there because there's a feeling thing there that, oftentimes I know that I've been there where I don't want to feel it. And so I just stop, and it's just easier just to go and connect in mental space. But I'd like to offer out today for everyone that's listening to as well. Take a look in your life and your day-to-day scenarios, and look where you may be able to, instead of connect just mentally, connecting at the heart as well, and bridging that space, and look for opportunities to do that.
It's very interesting. You just talking about that, it brought me back to last night. And there was a click in the heart just talking about that. And this I keep saying this click, and I really don't know what else to even call it. But it's really been with me for now probably about 6 weeks, to where when I really get deep into the thought pattern of love and where we're at today as a universe, and what can be done to help people out there that's really searching for a different way to look at things, and to get into their spiritual situation as far as teaching them. It's gone from a head level to me, which was always my thing to go up, and it's gone to a heart level to me. And what has happened with that is like a bolt on a door. It's like a bolt on a door, to whereas you can just unlatch it or you can latch it. And that's the way I feel when I'm looking at something like with that flower last night. As soon as that flower was put into my hand, I looked at the center part, which was a black color, and all the rest of it was red and a little orange with it. I looked straight into the middle of it, And when I looked into that, my vision got blurred. My head went to a place of all the people that was around me in that room. And it was just a love connection. And it just connected around. I could feel it with everyone. It was just like it was going person to person to person to person. And it was just like, this is the love for this person. This is the love for that person. This love. And I was really going through my head with that thought pattern while my heart was, I could feel my heart speeding up with that energy in there. And when that exercise was over, I had to just kind of click myself in to come back to that place of you speaking again about what we felt and the next topic.
That's really cool. There's another really cool thing that happened after that that resonated to me as well in the whole topics of the evening. When we got to the next gentleman, he started talking about all the things of a flower that he never noticed before. And when he started talking about it, he talked from a passionate feeling place. And it was fascinating to him, all those little things that were coming up. And, you know, what that brought up for me is, as this other couple of weeks, I've been having all kinds of experiences where as I slow down myself and get more into the depth with everything, I connect with it so differently that I'm seeing as well these new things and everything in my life and connecting differently. So to me, as we slow down and connect more and more, we also open up ways to bring and connect with new passions. And I'm going to give an example I gave last night. For me, I've always been really interested in astrology, but I just couldn't really ever connect with it. It just was charts and this and that, and it just was like, I don't even want to go there. I've had done enough charts in my life with the engineering background. And I had this thought come in one day, and it was like, you know, get on your iPad and look for apps about the astronomy, which has always kind of interested me, and, you know, seeing where the constellations are and relative to, you know, the Earth and all of that thing. And I started playing with this app, and it just absolutely turned something on within me that I just wanted to go and see where everything, just look and observe and feel how awesome it is to be here on the planet and how connected everything is. And from that place got inspired this more passionate interest and vehicle to let me start reading about astrology and doing a little bit of studying. So it's like, if we just take time to go deeper and into everything in our lives, who knows where we may find passion. And that passion may also be a part of purpose. You know, those two may connect. I've found this last couple of weeks things that I wouldn't have put in my mental place as part of my purpose or whatever are unfolding through slowing down and finding new passions in my life. And from that kick, something way new to happen. And I think many of us out there, it's really time to slow down. I think that's part of the new energy, is this extra sensory. To me, it's like, you know, some of these new movies where the colors are so vivid and the feelings and all the stuff you get from the sensory of the movie. To me, that's what life is more like now. It's so much more multi-dimensional than I've ever experienced in my whole life. And if we don't slow down, we don't get to experience all those dimensions.
I agree with that as well. While you're sitting there talking, my heart's flipping like it was last night. So that was great. And I just felt just a real connection to that. Of just, you know, we hear about being the now, but it's true. I mean, I'm working in the now. I try not to think too far ahead of me. I try not to think anything behind me that has transpired. It's just, what can I do now? What puts me in the place of happiness now? And when you concentrate on doing that and you really go within your own self, that's when you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of old patterns, some of them fearful patterns, some of them just don't know how to get out of it, keeps doing the same ticker tape, and you just need to crush them, cut them in pieces and let them go. Because when you really are into your happy place, it's always into the heart and where you are at that moment. And that moment is what you have to concentrate on and to really be able to stay there. Because the universe can get you off balance very easily if you just keep tapping into the same energy that you've had around you for years. You pick it up, you hold it, and that could very well be not the energy that you need to be holding anymore. And you will have to let it go and be able to step forward into a new form of that energy to go forward in your life and to really be able to learn the lessons that you came here to do and to feel and to just know and to go forward with it. And what a life that is. I choose after this lifetime to stay in the heavens. That's really what my goal is. I have the desire not to come back here in this earth plane. I have the desire to just be in God's place. And I think that that's when you're really into the now, that is exactly where God puts you. It's the now, not the past, but the now.
I like to say something about that because I would hate for anyone to get confused, because to me this earth is God's place too.
It is that.
And it's all God's place, and it's so important to remember that, you know, everyone's on their own journey, and where you are at this time on your journey is just perfect. Is absolutely perfect.
Perfect. But when I said that, of course I know this is God's place. But after 972 lives, I will go back and I will re-talk this just for a second. After 972 lives, I've had a lot of lifetimes in a lot of different places. And I'm ready, after this lifetime, to go and do the work upstairs of what's there for me to do.
And that's wonderful.
And that's great. What'd you say, Michael?
Well, he's going to let me come in.
Well, hi, Simon.
I was kind of telling him what I had to talk about. It kind of helps him now when I do that.
Good.
Not a surprise, but you were talking about other night when you had a meeting where the heart. And what happens to a lot of people, especially ones that aren't open or haven't been open to that yet, that they start feeling the oneness, that connection from others in that room. The hearts come in. It forms, you might say, a vortex in that room, and they connect to each other's heart, to the one energy that rests in their heart. And it puts them at peace. It sends them through healing that opens them up to peace, joy, and love. And it also confuses them a lot, too, because they don't know what's going on. But that's what happens. It's all oneness. Everything that happens on earth is spiritually geared toward getting you back to the oneness feeling. That's what you are. You are the same. But another subject that I wanted to speak about was walk-ins. You had mentioned that. And walk-ins can happen for several reasons. One, if someone feels so tormented and so uncomfortable and aren't getting the peace, love, and joy that they're supposed to hear, they can walk out. That spirit, that soul can step out. And another soul, there are all kind of souls that do not want to go through the birth process, but they will step in and continue in that body. And as you saw, a lot of times, no memories.
That's correct.
So they're stepping in, you might say, blank. Now, another reason they might step out is they completed their contract, and they know that. And so they want to continue, don't want to, for whatever reason, continue, so they can step out. And one third kind of dark way is they're driven out. You can be driven out by a demon in certain circumstances. Now, a walk-in is not necessarily bad, but the spirit that comes in is not always from the light. That's what you have to watch out for. Dark spirits are waiting to step in and possess as well. They can in a lot of cases because that person is strong enough to keep them out, has enough of the light or enough of purpose in what I call our schoolroom here to keep them at bay, to not let them in. But that spirit, that dark spirit, can influence and make them so miserable that it'll get them to that point where they will step out. Now, what happens when they step out? It's a spirit stepping out. They go to the light, and they go, in a lot of cases, through a healing phase. Because a spirit, when it leaves the human body, it has to actually go through a healing phase. Because they carry a lot of the same thing with them. They don't know to release all of that. They don't know to immediately go back to what they are, peace, love, and joy. So they have to go through there and be cleansed of that. That is good in a way. But what I believe, I did not do walk-ins. I've known some that did, especially when I was in the incarnation. And you don't always know it's happening. Now, what, Lee, I heard you say before, how you knew. Now, how did you know?
I was not really tuning into the same person that I had known for 15 years. It was very blank. The eyes were blank. And the just the motions, the person was pretty regimental. Every day would be the same routine, same time, same this, same everything. And I saw variations with that. And I also saw a person that I had never encountered anger, to go in a brief moments with a little anger, and over really nothing. And it wasn't really toward the people; it was more toward himself. And he would talk about different things that he was thinking about, because he was in Vietnam, and there was a lot of things that went on in his life, and he was a scout. And so he was went way back into that time frame about that. And I had never heard those stories before.
I want to say and ask you a question. If you were in life at a certain point and you were physically ill, very physically ill, and you had a chance to leave, would you?
Would I?
Would you? Would you leave your body, the soul, and take your consciousness with you and let another step in and finish your body's existence?
That's a good question, because personally, sitting here right now, of thinking about that, I would not.
What about you?
I have no reason. I enjoy being in this incarnation. There's no reason or even thought about it.
That is the normal. Most people would not. Right. Most people would not. They're here for a reason. They know their purpose. Even this one has had 2 exit points at least, and he chose to stay. You've had them.
Yes, I have.
You don't realize it, but you've had them. You've actually had them.
I remember one in particular.
And you chose to stay. Why? Can you remember why you stayed?
I wasn't done. I had no feelings of being done. I was just at pivotal points of change in my life. Actually, I remember 2. One when I was really young and one about 2007, and they were at pivotal change points for me.
So your contract wasn't finished. You still had things to do. And what about you, Miss Lee?
I had no type of thinking whatsoever to want to leave here, because I knew I had more things that needed to be done in my life. And I was very young with one of them that I can remember vividly. And at another time, I was real close, but chose not to go. And I just wanted to finish it out. Because that's what, I just felt like the job for here was supposed to be here. And that's the way I felt about it. I've never thought about going before it was the time to go. I've never even gone into that thought pattern.
I'll suggest a comparison of a walkout, letting a walk-in come in. Suicide. Suicide is a walkout ending the physical existence. The spirit goes through healing. Very deep healing sometimes, because it carries all of that with it. A walkout, letting a walk-in come in a way, is suicide as well. You did not complete what you came here to complete. You may have completed your contract, but the body has an expiration date on it. You did not carry that body to that expiration date. So is that bad or good? It's not bad in that it doesn't damn you. It doesn't cause you to go to the proverbial hell that you hear about, which doesn't exist. But it does mean you're coming back. If you step out, you're going to come back because you did not complete this existence in the physical body. Also, it means that when you go back to source, that you will not undertake other things that might have been your lot. Oh, excuse me, Michael. Your lot. I just realized the funny. But when you leave this physical existence, you go through healing in a lot of cases, and then you have other things to do, whether that be a time coming back, or whether that be a time on another planet, whether that be a time as a guide, coming back as a healer, a guru, a master. And when you walk out, that door closes for you. And you come back to finish your experience. Because if you don't finish your experience here, you don't get to that peace, love, and joy this lifetime. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. So I would always look at a walkout and a walk-in as a form of suicide.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
As far as the walk-in, what is that walk-in there to do? I mean, when will the walk-in walk out? I mean, that's a very interesting question for me because, by dealing with that energy, it's pretty fascinating to see it.
There are several reasons. One, there are spirits waiting to come back and help. So they will step into one that has walked out and continue that on, helping and doing good. So there are beneficial or benevolent ones that want to come out and walk in. There are also ones that want to come back in that I call the dark ones. Mm-hmm. They may not be demonic, but I call them dark ones because they're stepping in to enjoy all the physical addictions and things that they had before. Mm. However their life ended, it ended too short for them. Some of them went to the light and came back as the beneficial, the benevolent ones. Some did not go to the light. You can actually have a spirit on earth plane that can step in.
So when will this individual leave? When will this individual leave? Because it puts you, when you actually know that, it puts you in being the human that I am, that it puts you in a really strange situation. I need answers to that.
When the physical body reaches its expiration date is one reason, the main reason. Mm-hmm. Another, it may walk out or commit suicide because when it came back, what it came back to enjoy and experience is no longer there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So it's just kind of like
could be either way. Mm-hmm. They could end it themselves early by committing suicide to the physical body, mm-hmm. are walking out, you can actually have another walk-in to come in. I mean, it's an open door. If that room is emptied, it'll fill up. An angel got his wings. I like that. But does that make sense, or have I confused?
No, that makes sense. It's just that I'm at the in my own life, I just need for it to be completed.
And it's not certain how that walk-in is going to be. If it's one of the dark ones, I call them, and they're not necessarily, as I said, demonic, but if it's one of them to step in to feed that addiction and all of the hungers that it left here with, and it didn't go to the light to be healed of them, it's wanting to walk in and complete that. Even possessions down here, when one doesn't walk out, but one comes in and possesses that person, they can do that as well to feed the addictions that they lost when the physical body died. So they will stay on the earth plane, attach themselves to another human being, and through that person, they will feed their addictions or hungers. You might see a person which you've known for years, and all of a sudden one day they change. They start drinking, or they start smoking, or they start doing drugs, or they start other things that are not good for the human soul. It could be that a spirit possessed them and is feeding through that person what they miss. And being attached to that person, they get the benefit of it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Simon.
My pleasure. And thank you for letting me make the funny. This is a beautiful place, is it not? It really is. The energy is awesome. But I thank y'all for letting me come.
You're so welcome.
Well, it's always an adventure, isn't it?
It is. That's why we love it.
You know, I was really listening and going through a lot of different thought processes of what we've talked about today and different things. And the thing that really, you said something, Lee, that struck me, and you said, I need. And that opened some doors, the I need, to different types of things. It was I need and present moment were the two ticker things that kept circling back in my consciousness. And the thought is I'm thinking about myself, I'm thinking about everybody. When we need something, do we acknowledge and allow ourselves to be in the moment of a needing, of the feeling, of the whatever it is? We've heard so much over the years through different teachers and this and that about being in the present moment. You know, and I think on so many levels, I'm speaking partially for myself here, but I've also heard other people say this, that, you know, being in the present moment is almost, I don't know if a faux pas is kind of the word. You know, people think they're in the present moment, but there's so much more, you know, to what it... I think that we only scratch the surface of being in the present moment. And I personally, I'm probably, as much as I would like to be in the present moment, I feel like I've just begun the journey of getting into the place of being in the present moment. And as we talked about earlier, this openness to just connect more deeply with things is really assisting that process for me. So there was something about when you said, I need, I don't even know what it was exactly, but it triggered several different thoughts. And it's, how often do you all out there really stop and go, I need, I want, I desire, all of these kind of things, and really allow ourselves, yourself, to go into whatever the desire is. Because maybe that desire is something that's going to benefit your soul's expression, your life on some level. Maybe it's a lesson on some level to even take you deeper into your life. Maybe something by going deeper and feeling within yourself, what is the undercurrent of I need? There's so many deeper levels of being in the present moment, and I've been in this vortex of experiencing and experimenting and talking, and how can I dive deeper into the present moment in everything? Because I think a lot of times I think all three of us at the table have been and have very analytical sides to us. And the analyzer within us can go, oh, I'm in the present moment right now. And that's all head. It's the know part. It's not the be part, the knowing and being. And I think it takes both to be in the present moment. But again, just that is a concept. We could talk about concepts all day, but being and practicing it is a whole different story. And the only experiences that I've had are being around other people that I go, wow, that is presence. Or an experience where that is presence. Or with myself, and I would say in times of sadness where I allow myself to fully experience the sadness or whatever, the joy, where I can just feel it just streaming all the way from head to toe, that those are the moments where I've really felt totally in the moment as far as I can understand what that is. Because, again, I really believe that we're just scratching the surface to what it's like.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, that just really, when you said that, it triggered something within me of so many different things around being in the present moment. So I had to share.
Thank you. Thank
Go
you.
on a bandwagon.
That was a big revelation for me in the not too distant past, and I always prayed and asked. Mm-hmm. I always asked for stuff. And the revelation came that when I asked for stuff, or some genius told me, I forget which, was that when I ask for something, I'm denoting need. I'm denoting a lack. And if I reformat my prayers to always thank God for what it is that I, on a human self, might need, but I thank God for giving it to me already, I'm denoting not lack, but I'm denoting possession of that already. And I went through that process just because of what you just spoke about. And so every time I pray now, if I catch myself saying I need or I want, I stop. And I say, I thank you for already giving it to me. I thank you for this. Mm. And then I think what that does spiritually, it helps open up the physical body to receive it, whether that be healing, mm-hmm. whether that be releasing of pain, guilt, anger, or if it's just making you a better person, whatever it is you're thanking God for. When you thank Him, I think that connects to the now. And in that now that you prayed, your body actually opens up and energetically receives what you're thanking God for.
That sounds beautiful. How do you all, if you, in this human experience, if you could have ways that you use to become more present, what would they be? How do you all do that?
And not say I need.
Hey. Whoa. Oh, that's hilarious. We were laughing here at the table because there was a little interaction before we started the show with Lee and Michael Braswell about quiet.
Little.
and
And we never have an interaction before the program, do we?
no, never. Sometimes we talk for 20 minutes or more, just babbling until we're like, okay, everybody stop, so we hit record.
What was the question, Michael?
I don't even know.
I don't even remember what it was.
Okay. I was asking you all what do you do, and what have your experiences been in getting more or finding ways to become more present in your life with whatever's going on right now? You know, we were talking about earlier the exercises we did last night as maybe little tiny type of examples, but
I can tell you a change that I've made, and I think that
cool.
that's part of it, is that I've changed the routine in the when I get up in the morning. I was so into the routine of just going through a meditation and doing blot, 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 go by the book type thing that I'd done for a long, long time. And I felt the need to switch it up. And to change that. It was like, okay, I've done this 1,000 times, let's go a different angle. What puts me more into the now is when a person is speaking to me just like what you just did, I put myself right here, right there, and I zeroed right into what you were saying. Whereas in the past, I have been able to maybe hear 3/4 of what you're saying and don't hear the other 25% of what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm more conscious of doing that. And the more conscious that you get for doing that is the more that you'll continue doing, staying in the now. Also, with dealing with my family, my children particularly, I have really gone into my now mode. I'm not thinking about what they should do, what they shouldn't do, telling them what they should do and telling them what they shouldn't do. It's their life. And so I just stay into the now, and whenever I hear on the other side, to me, all of this stuff about, well, what I need to do, la, 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 la. You see, I don't even answer it anymore. What I do, I just say, whatever your decision is, I'll support you. Now, that has been a big switch.
That's cool.
A big switch into that. And I can see, just in the last month, what a difference that it's made. Words mean everything. They mean everything. Lack of words at times can be hurtful because you don't really know what a person is thinking at that time. That might be an important thing for you. Mm-hmm. So that when you go into that situation, then I've got to go real deep into there and not put my own emotions in there, not put my own thought patterns of why this person doesn't do this or doesn't do that. It's not me to decide what that is. Mm-hmm. But, I've released a lot of that type of thing because I've been in a position most of my life that was pretty much a leadership type thing, particularly in work. You know how that can get a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And I've just released it. And when I catch myself going back to the old mode of that, at that moment, what the best lesson is that I recognize that. As soon as it comes out of my mouth, I recognize that. Now, there's the key. And then it's like, okay, not going to do that again. Not going to do that again. And I just say, it's over and done. It was already out of my mouth. It's time to go on and work into the now and go to next. Because you can't beat yourself up over it neither. I think we've all beat ourselves up over a lot of different things in our lifetimes. Yeah. And you just, absolutely. And I think that when you go in to that mode of beating yourself up, or you start thinking things of why this person didn't do this, or why this person hasn't done that, that's when you really get mixed up with it. And you just say, when the moment is, it will be. When the time is, it will be. And stay in the now of what it is now, and love just knowing that the people that are around you, that you love them and they love you. That's really what it's all about. That's what it's all about. What do you have to say about that, Michael?
I thought those were beautiful words.
Thank you.
Look, those are beautiful words. Well, other than the praying, the now, if you stop and just connect to the now, look around, see birds, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, see the Spirit within that. Look at the paper. You can even see unwritten words on the paper if you look right. What that does, it bypasses ego. Ego is what keeps you out of the now. That's one of its illusions it does to keep you from spiritual growth. So I think if you slow down, like Michael Lott had said, if you look around and see God in everything and connect to that energy just for a few minutes, let your energy radiate out from you and connect to the walls, the floor, the chairs, the furniture, whatever's around you. It will definitely ground you spiritually, and you'll be in it now, and you won't stay in it for a real long time, because the ego is a very undisciplined thing. It's going to eventually come back in. But while you're in that now, it is awesome. It's almost as if you're levitating. So that's one of the things that I do.
I was going to say real quick before, I think one of the best ways to really slow down is just to go outside.
Oh, yeah.
Just go get outside of all of the scrambled energies of, computers and all of these different energies that want to just take you to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And, another thing that came up with me around that is there's different dimensions of now, and what I'm kind of talking about is this now in your body on earth, experiencing whatever's in front of you at this time. Because I would venture to say that there are people that could say that doing those things is being in now in another dimension. I don't know why that's so fascinating. That just came into my head like that.
Because it was supposed to.
It's interesting.
Or slow down and look at the baby you're changing a diaper on and notice how lovely it is. That's being in the now. Seeing love in anything you do.
Beautiful.
And hug a tree when you go outside.
I did yesterday.
Good.
When I was walking my dogs.
Did it talk to you?
It energy went straight down through my heart. It went actually kind of connected to the back of my heart chakra and came down and shot straight down. It was a giant cedar tree.
Call it grandfather next time you do that. See what happens.
I was walking my dog and I just stopped and I was like, this tree is calling to me. And it was lovely. It shifted something before we did the class yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm in the now right now.
With no needs.
I didn't say that. I'm going to finish that when we get off the air. Trust me, I'm not finished with this yet.
Oh, I knew it when I was going to talk about it, that it wasn't going to.
But anyway, of the now. And I am now in a lovely place at the Light Center. I'm now with the energy that is terrific. I am now at this table with the two Michaels that are totally dear to my heart. And I am so happy that I'm in the now here at Black Mountain, North Carolina.
Well, I've really enjoyed the show with you all. It's been an adventure here, as it always is.
It always is an adventure with
and
us.
You're probably going to hear me say that 30,000 more times.
Now, newness of wonder.
Are you in the now?
Huh? Yes.
Is it a wondrous of wonder? And I figured to go downstairs and be in the light room again. I want to work on myself.
Sounds wonderful. Well, we'll say again, the website for this place is yourlight.org.
Awesome place. You need to come. You got to come.
If you're on your journey of exploring all kinds of different spiritual centers or sacred sites, this is definitely one to put on your list.
If you will ever have a need, a real need, it's to come here. You need to come here.
Lots of love to y'all. Have
Lots
a blessed week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Love you. Bye.